Welcome back, everyone. This is MandoAllDay back with another video. And in this video, I'll be doing an overview of Swamp Thing Green Hell. This is the hardcover edition, the magazine edition, I should say. I'll be talking about a little bit of the story, the art, and of course, if it's worth your purchase or not. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not only support the channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So let's take a look at front of the dust jacket, the spine, the back. I'll show you a full spread image of the dust jacket. Looks pretty cool. Sorry for the light glare. Alright, front of the book. The spine. The back. And I'll show you a full spread image of the art, which looks really, really nice. Alright, now let's take a look at what's inside. So, what is this book about? So the book takes place in a mountaintop island with the last remaining of humanity. Parliaments consisting of the red, green, rot are weak, and each day that goes by they get weaker by the minute, or by the day I should say. So they decide, you know what, let's just start fresh, let's start the new cycle of life. So they all get together and create this new avatar. Story progresses. Now Alec Holland, or the Swamp Thing, has to come back and protect Earth from this new avatar. And that's pretty much all I can say because, well, for one, this is a very short story. It's only 3 issues. Granted, each issue is about like 30 pages long, but it's a really, really short story. And the story itself is pretty darn simple. I mean, by the end of, actually not even the end, like halfway through the first book, you'd be like, okay, I know what's going to be it's about. And what I just described to you is exactly what this book is. It's just the Parliament say, you know what, let's get together, create a new avatar, and they create this new avatar, which is the new Swamp Thing. And now Alec Holland has to stop this individual because, well, he's gone crazy. And that is the gist of the story. With that said, I really enjoy this book. First of all, I got to talk about the art. The art is just gruesome and bloody. This is a black label, so keep that in mind because it does have some cursing here and there. But man, the art is gruesome. Like, so much violence going on here. And like, for instance, you can probably see it right here. People getting stabbed, shot at. Some people get their eye poked. And of course, having Swamp Thing like this right here. Just look at that art. Just looks freaking awesome. Swamp Thing looks menacing, evil, creepy, but he looks badass. On top of that, the story itself is actually pretty darn good. It's nothing original, to be completely honest with you. There are some twists and turns here and there. There are some cameos for certain characters, but for the most part, it can be pretty predictable. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all, but it is predictable. They try to add some layers to it, which I won't talk about or say too much. But there is some layers between this girl right here and Alec Holland, which if you read this book, you'll know what I'm referring to. But apart from that, I really enjoyed the book, man. Like I said, the art is fantastic, and the story itself, very simple, straight to the point, but it keeps going. It keeps that pace going, which I'll talk about the pacing in a bit. And it keeps that story going. And again, very, very simple story. But even though it's simple, even though it's short, it's a lot of fun, and seeing all this brutality of this Swamp Thing. Look at this. Look at all this stuff. It's just brutal. I mean, just look at all this. And on top of that, you get a magazine edition of it, which is a bigger format, and you get the glossy paper. Come on. What is there to not like? The paper quality is, of course, glossy paper, which I like, and makes the colors pop more, as you can see perfectly here. The art is fantastic, like I said. The art alone, you can definitely get this and just look at all the pages and you'll be like, dude, this is so cool. I'm excited for the moment I read this book, I just kept thinking, man, I can't wait for the new DCU movie of Swamp Thing because it better have some gruesomeness like this. This will look sweet. Imagine seeing like all this brutality, gruesome and blood and violence and all this stuff in a big screen with Swamp Thing. Come on, that'll be really badass. Do you need to have prior knowledge? Not really. I mean, they do reference some other characters from the past, because this is a more like futuristic story. But Not really. You'll be perfectly fine as long as you know DC characters, more specifically to like the Dark Justice League. You'll be perfectly fine. Pacing. The pacing is above average, and that's what I like about this book. It doesn't slow down and really break down what exactly happened and so forth. Throughout this whole story, they'll tell you what exactly happened, but it never stops the story itself. That makes sense? I know some stories where when they start talking about what exactly happened in certain parts, they stop telling or progressing the main story to give you the insight what happened. This, on the other hand, it keeps going, and I actually like that because it keeps that story going, and you're engaged because you want to see, okay, what's going to happen? Who's this involved? Who's that? What is going to be the outcome? And it's a few surprises here and there. So overall, what do I think about this book? Like I said, I really enjoy this book. It's an Elseworld story. You can just buy this book, have a good time, and really enjoy this fantastic art. Again, the story, it's simple, pretty straightforward, but I didn't care because the story itself and the pacing, it kept me engaged. I wanted to read more and more and more, and you know what? I was into it from book one all the way up to the very end. So overall, what do I give this book? I give Swamp Thing Green Hell hardcover a thumbs up. Definitely recommend getting it. If you're bored, you have nothing else to do, definitely check that out. Like I said, it's only 3 issues, so it doesn't need a lot of time and a lot of investment. You can just get this book, read it, and I'm telling you, you're going to have a great time with it. Because the cool thing about it is, like I said, you don't need to have prior knowledge. You can just get this book, start reading it, and have a great time with amazing art. And of course, having the magazine hardcover edition with the nice glossy paper, can't go wrong. Let me know what you guys think. Have you read this book? Do you plan on reading this book? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not only support channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. This includes an overview of Swamp Thing Green Hell, the hardcover edition, and on to the next one.